Hello, everyone. Sadguru Sharanam. Are you ready to learn English by reading newspaper? Are you ready? Yes? Then welcome to English Guru's brand new episode. I am Ashalatha Sreejith. What are the benefits of reading English newspaper? The first benefit is, of course, vocabulary. If you read English newspaper daily, you will become enriched in using English words. It develops your critical thinking. It keeps you updated. It will make you a master in current affairs so that you'll benefit in competitive exams, in attending interviews. That's going to be a bonus point. And what is the benefit of reading English newspaper loudly? Have you heard of Danya Verma? She's a Hindi news reader and she's a Malayali. She has narrated how she practiced before attending the interview. Actually, she was not that much confident in reading Hindi fluently. So before the interview, she started reading Hindi articles and Hindi newspapers loudly for hours. She used to spend time particularly for reading loudly. That gave her that fluency which she needed for the interview. If that is applicable for Hindi language, it can be applied for learning English also. If you want to be fluent in English, you have to read English articles or English matter loudly. If you are a beginner, reading Hindu newspaper is going to be a real task. Then what we have to do? We can read the titles, headlines, etc. as a beginner. And then you can select one or two news that you find attractive. Maybe sports news, maybe some film reviews you can read, or maybe some local news, whatever that you feel attracted to read. Then you have to read it repeatedly. Daily read one or two news repeatedly for 2-3 times. Then you will see the progress that you are making. If you continuously do this, within 2 weeks, you feel that confidence. So consistency is the key for any task. Language is a skill, it's not a subject. To master a skill, we need practice. You might be listening hundreds of videos with no result. The problem lies in the lack of practice. So today, without much ado, let's dive into our activity of reading English newspaper. Here I have selected a news. I'll read it from the newspaper and you can read it on the screen. While reading, I'll explain whatever I can in English. You can note it down in a notebook for practicing later. So let me grab my reading glass. Okay. The Hindu, November 8, Friday's news. We concede the election, but not the fight. Kamala Harris. What is the meaning of concede? Concede means to admit, to agree something with hesitation. You are not that much happy in accepting that. That is the truth, but you admit it. As we all know, Donald Trump has beaten Kamala Harris. Here she says that she is admitting the results of the election, but they are going to continue the fight. Hours after she lost the presidential election to her Republican opponent, Donald Trump, US Vice President Kamala Harris conceded the election but urged her supporters to continue the fight and stay organized and engaged. She lost the presidential election to her Republican opponent, Donald Trump. US Vice President Kamala Harris. So she is presently the Vice President. If you recommend something strongly, then you are urging. So she urged her supporters. You might have seen her supporters crying after the election because they were not ready to face the result. So she had to console them. She urged her supporters to continue the fight and stay organized and engaged. What is the meaning of organized? Organized means to arrange everything in order. If your house is organized, if your kitchen is organized, if your work is organized, life is going to be very smooth. That is a fact. Engage means not to become lazy, keep themselves busy and active. So, who lost the election? Kamala Harris lost the election. Who defeated Kamala Harris? Donald Trump defeated Kamala Harris. Who lost the American presidential election 2024? Kamala Harris lost the presidential election 2024. Asking these type of small questions and learning to answer these type of small questions is going to help you a lot. So practice with me. What did she urge her supporters? See this question, because of the presence of the word did, I have used the verb as urge. Because with did, we should not use past tense. With did, we have to use simple present tense form of the verb. We won. What did Kamala Harris urge her supporters? Kamala Harris urged her supporters to continue the fight and stay organized and engaged. Let's continue. My heart is full today, full of love for our country and full of resolve, said Miss Harris in an 11-minute speech, her voice shaking at times. My heart is full today. That means I'm happy and content. We can understand that she is a positive lady. She is not ready to accept failure. She considers fail as first attempt in learning. She is not ready to lose the fight. So her resilience and her power is shown in this statement. Full of love for our country and full of resolve. Resolve means she has taken some decisions. To resolve means to take decisions about the future course of actions. Her voice shaking at times. Shaking at times means trembling because she is actually sad. That is why her voice was shaking. I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. So now it is again given in inverted commas. That means the paper is reporting her statement in the direct speech. I spoke with President-elect Trump. President-elect. So he has won the election. As he has won the election, he is being referred as President-elect. She congratulated him on his victory. That is clear. I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition and that we will engage in a peaceful transfer of power. I also told him that. Obviously, the statement is in reported speech. Look at the reporting verb, told. I also told him that we will help him. Will. Here lies the problem. We have learned that in reported speech, we have to use the backshift rule. That is, we have to change will into would. But here, they have used will. Why? You might be confused. I was also flabbergasted when I saw will in a reported speech. But there is a reason for that. In the transition of power, what is transition? Change from one status to another, change of position from one position to another position, and that too in a peaceful manner. There will be no arguments, there will be no problems in the process. Why she is stressing that? There is a reason that we will discuss later. But now let's see why they have used will in a reported statement. The reason is the verb will inside the reported clause refers to a future course of action relative to the time of speaking. More confused, isn't it? So I'll help you here. In this sentence, Kamala Harris is mentioning about a future that is yet to come, not the future in the past. When she speaks about this in October, November is yet to come. So in that context, when the future is yet to come in relative to the time of speaking, we can use will in the reported clause like this. But from the exam point of view, don't get confused. Whenever you are asked to change a statement to reported speech, you just change will into would because would is always correct. So let's continue with our reading. She said, speaking at her alma mater, Howard University in Washington, D.C. She was speaking at her alma mater. What is an alma mater? Alma mater is the school, college or university in which you have studied and usually graduated. So Howard University is her alma mater. So which is your alma mater? Let me know. Type in the comment box. A fundamental principle of American democracy is that when we lose an election, we accept the results, she said, presumably making a veiled reference to Mr. Trump, who did not concede the 2020 poll that he lost, instead mounting multiple legal challenges and delivering an incendiary speech that motivated his supporters to attack the US Capitol on January 6, 2021. One full paragraph is a single sentence. Now, let's see bit by bit. A fundamental principle of American democracy. Fundamental means basic. Is that when we lose an election, we accept the results. Presumably making a veiled reference. presumably means if you are making a guess without any proof. Veiled reference means indirect reference, a covered reference to Mr. Trump, who did not concede the 2020 poll that he lost. In the 2020 American election, Trump had lost. At that time, he didn't concede the election. Here, Kamala Harris is making an indirect reference to this. That is what the newspaper is guessing. Instead, mounting multiple legal challenges and delivering an incendiary speech. Instead of conceding the election, what did Donald Trump do? Instead, mounting multiple legal challenges. Mounting means preparing, setting. Instead, he prepared and mounted many legal challenges and delivering an incendiary speech. Incendiary speech means provocative. And delivering an incendiary speech that motivated his supporters to attack the US Capitol on January 6, 2021. That is why she has particularly stressed that point, that we will help him in a peaceful transfer of power. So, who is Kamala Harris? Kamala Harris is presently the US Vice President. Who won the American presidential election 2024? Answer: Donald Trump won the American presidential election 2024. Whom did Donald Trump beat in the American presidential election 2024? Type the answer in the comment box. Who was beaten by Donald Trump in the American presidential election 2024? There are different ways of asking the same question. The first question: who beat Kamala Harris in the American presidential election 2024? Second question: who was beaten by Donald Trump in the American presidential election? Whom did Donald Trump beat in the American presidential election 2024? Answer these three questions, type in the comment box. If you like this type of English newspaper reading videos, please let me know in the comment box. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe. If you like this video, do like, share, and put your valuable comments and suggestions. For the time being, let me wind up this video. See you in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye-bye. Sadhguru Sharanam.